You're watching Wid's Anime Cast.
Konnichiwa, and welcome to Wids Anime. Now I'm going to do a review of The Tale of Princess Kaguya. This is a Studio Ghibli release. It is directed and co-written by Isao Takahata. It is a folk tale based on the tale of the bamboo cutter. Takahata's previous work was My Neighbors the Yamadas, which was in 1999. And of course, the music is done by Joe. The film's length is just over 2 hours. It debuted in Japan on November 23rd, 2013. Domestically, G-Kids is handling the distribution of the film. Right now, you can see it in theaters. Next month, you'll be able to purchase the film on DVD. If you've seen My Neighbors the Yamadas, artistically you know what you're in for. Beautiful watercolors. I saw the English dub version. I'm not going to speak to the voice actors' performances. They were okay. No one did a horrible job, so I'll leave it at that. The music was very nice, as per usual for Joe. And I'm not going to do a retelling of the story. It's the story that has been used a lot in anime and in literature. I guess I have to move on to my review of the film. Of the Studio Ghibli films, this is not one of my favorites. As I have said elsewhere, I love the watercolor art style of the film, though there are moments when it would suddenly change style during one of the dream sequences. The biggest problem I have with this film is that it's way too long. I would say by about a half hour. I think the film needed some serious editing. Also, the narrative wasn't strong enough for me. If you come to the film not knowing the folktale, you would become lost. I will admit that it was quite sad when she had to return home to her home on the moon. She would forget all that she had experienced on Earth with her foster parents. I had a problem with her robotic look after she dons the robe of the moon. The moon's inhabitants look like a very dour group. I wouldn't want to go back there either. As for its prospects for winning the Annie next year, I don't think so. There's just something off about this movie. Visually, I enjoyed it. Story wise, it needed some help. Would I recommend this film? To an animation fan? Yes. To the casual film goer? No. It's hard for me to write this or to say this. I so wanted to love this film. I couldn't wait to see it. Takahata's My Neighbors the Yamadas is a much better film than this one. There were the parts I thought needed the editing the most were her time in the capital and a little of her growing up. They seem to they seem to embellish that more than it needed to. It got interesting when her suitors came. The other problem I have with the film is she's supposed to be this exquisite beauty, and I never got that. While she didn't look like everybody else, which is okay, she is from the moon, and that's not a problem. She's supposed to be this ethereal beauty, and I just never saw it. And I think the English voice acting left something to be desired. And she was very erratic at times. Um, she loved where she was at, then suddenly she hated everything around her. It was just a lot of inconsistencies in this film. Like I said, I don't think it's going to win an Annie. The stuff it's up against, even How to Train Your Dragon Part 2, um, I think told a better story, even though it also has its problems. This one, beautiful though it is, it just needed some story work. Yamada's told a very good story, a family, you know, family vignettes. This one, no family vignette. Don't know why father wanted to go to the capital. It seemed unnecessary. Um, The other thing is, most of the voice actors, the English dub, really couldn't tell who was who and really didn't care who was who. Usually, I'm very interested in who doing the voice acting. Not particularly this time. And the one suitor, that's his wife. Um, mm, I I don't know. I never really particularly laughed during this film. Like I said, at the end when she has to leave, that was very emotional and very sad. But for the most part in this film, I was just a passenger along and didn't really care one way or the other about it. And that's really disappointing because I was so looking forward to it. And I'm sorry, this time it just failed to deliver. It makes me a little nervous for Studio Ghibli. What are they going to do in the future now that Miyazaki is retiring? And they have to move forward. And seeing a little bit of what Studio Ghibli, their animated series that they've done this winter, this fall and into winter, I was not awed by. I think Studio Ghibli needs to find its way. And this movie may not have been the way to do it. Although I still love that they did it. It was still a risk. But I think Takahata needs some work in the story um, department. Visually beautiful, music great. Just the story he needed editing is really what he needed. So if it comes your way and you're an animation fan, and you are if you're watching my podcast or my video cast, go see it. And let me know what you think. Uh, if you have but don't take along friends who are not in the anime, because this movie there's just not enough there to pull them in. Where My Neighbor Totoro um was joyful and fun and just so magical. This one it missed the magic. I'm sorry, Takahata, you missed the magic this time. So that's my review of the Tale of Princess Kaguya. If it comes to a theater near you, I would recommend going to see it. Uh, I would recommend also buying it when it comes out on DVD. We need to support Studio Ghibli. It may not be their finest effort, but it's also a heck of a lot better than the other stuff out there. Uh, just just missed it a little bit there.